The Neuropsychoanalysis Association is an umbrella organization that comprises 3 entities that then support a number of activities in neuropsychoanalysis.
Neuroscience and psychoanalysis are 2 fields of knowledge that essentially study the same phenomenon at different levels of inquiry. By bringing these 2 levels of inquiry together in the same research study, we can actually not only enrich what we learn from each one of these methods, but we can even pose new questions.
The brain is the organ of the mind. Neuroscientists study it from an external objective point of view, whereas psychoanalysts study the functions of that same part of nature from the point of view of being that part of nature.
The advent of cognitive neuroscience and its various sort of sub-disciplines, including social cognition and affective neuroscience, I think have really reinvigorated psychiatry in terms of understanding the dynamics of the mind and what their underpinnings are in the human brain.
We expect our psychodynamic experts to be knowledgeable about the brain, and we expect our brain experts to be knowledgeable about the psychology of the patient.
We know that most psychiatric problems are imbalanced emotional feelings that have generated maladaptive strategies in the world. If one can correct the emotional feelings, very often therapy moves along much more rapidly and a person can learn living skills.
What neuropsychoanalysis could provide to psychiatry is a repositioning of, I would argue, the person as the organization of our biology or our neuroscience, and psychiatry has the potential to intervene at multiple levels. You can think about intervening at the emotional level, social level, or the behavioral level, and that those can also impact biology and the neuroscience.
In psychoanalysis, there has been tremendous amount of clinical knowledge and wisdom that accumulated over last century. Now we can turn this into testable hypothesis, which hopefully will inform our treatment of patients.
So we can understand basic human emotions by studying animal models because there's an evolutionary continuity in the brain that can be explicitly seen. The anatomical pathways are similar among all mammals. If we understand the emotions of animals, we will have a fundamental understanding of the emotions in human beings, including the fundamental nature of the feelings.
When we took a purely neuroscientific approach to the dreaming brain, we were led astray. We were led to believe that it was a completely mechanical business, that we rectified that by bringing psychological methods into connection with the neuroscientific methods. We realized that in fact the dreaming brain has everything to do with the motivational and emotional and autobiographical memory parts of the brain. The more recent findings in the neuroscience of dreams at least reopen the possibility that dreams would give you insights into what is on the mind of the dreamer, what matters to the dreamer.
One of the major things that we do is the International Neuropsychoanalysis Society. We have over 40 regional groups in over 20 countries, and we have neuropsychoanalysis groups on every continent except for Antarctica.
What I see psychiatry as heading towards is being able to take what we now know as aspects of mental function and human behavior and being able to understand those in the context of genetics, neurochemistry, and neuroanatomy. This will be enormously valuable.
We have contributed new ideas to treating autism, treating attention deficit hyperactivity disorders in children, but we're working most intensely on depression.
The time is ripe for neuroscience and psychoanalysis to join, in particular to study borderline personality disorder, because it has both a social interpersonal dimension that we now know has direct ties to neurobiological processes.
I'm very excited about neuropsychoanalysis because I think it's a multi-approach to patients and to clinical work, and all of mental health problems are multifaceted. I think that psychiatry is most interesting and most effective if all approaches are taught, and I think neuropsychoanalysis really embodies that.
Neuropsychoanalysis, I think, finally allows us to finish this unfortunate battle between biological and psychological that we have in psychiatry.
We have an opportunity of grounding the classification of psychiatric disorders in biology. This is one thing that I think is going to really change the future of psychiatry from a neuroscientific point of view. Once you have that sort of knowledge, you have a valid basis for drug development.
I am delighted that one group of clinicians, the neuropsychoanalytic movement, saw the promise of this vision and is focusing on this scientific journey together to make our understanding of psychiatric issues and psychiatric treatments much better by accepting the true nature of our emotional lives.